linear combination of vectors, right? So let v1, v2, vn be n vectors. Then
alpha 1 v1 plus alpha 2 v2
plus alpha n vn, where your alpha is belongs to the real, is called the linear combination of n vectors. These n vectors, right? These are what? Vx. So first of all, let's understand what it exactly means. Okay. Okay. So I have S to be just one vector, 1, 0. So of course, S is a subset of R2. So what do you mean by then alpha 1? Let's say I call this vector as V1. So let's say I have only one vector V1. And let's say I have chosen some alpha belongs to the R. Then alpha V1, or you may call it as alpha 1, just to have a better notation with V1. So alpha 1 V1 is what? Is linear combination. Now, can anybody tell me what does that alpha 1 V1 means? Let's say if I'm picking the values of alpha, different real values of alpha, right? So let's say I take the alpha to be 1, then alpha 1 V1 will be what? 1, 0. If I take alpha 1 to be 2, then alpha 1 V1 is what? 2, 0. If I take alpha 1 is equal to minus 3, alpha 1 V1 will be what? Minus 3, 0. I take alpha to be root 5, alpha 1 V1 will be what? Root 5, 0. So what are these? If I keep on changing the values of alpha, what will I get?
X-axis.
Yes. So what happens basically? So if I have 1, 0, right? I have 1, 0 over there, and this is just a single vector S. But if I take alpha 1 V1, then what happens? I have generated the whole x-axis, right? So now there is one important notation, that is what? This linear combination can also be put into a set, right? So if I say that you write the linear combination in a set, that means alpha 1 V1, alpha 2 V2, so on alpha n Vn, such that your alpha is belongs to the real, right? And this is a set. And if I denote the n vectors, that is also by a set, and I name it as S. So let's say S is V1, V2, Vn. And if I make another set, and that is this, which I've already mentioned over there, right? Alpha 1 V1, alpha 2 V2, alpha n Vn, such that your alpha is belongs to the real and your Vi's belongs to the S. Then this set is called linear span of S, right? What we call it as LS is called linear span of S. Now, this is a very important set, and we're gonna read the properties of this. So as a first example, till now, what you have understood, if I take S to be 1, 0, then linear span of S will be x-axis. Are you with me on this? Yes. Okay. So let me take another example. Let me take, first of all, very small examples. So if I take S to be 0, 1, then what would be the linear span of S? Yes.
y-axis.
Yes, true. It's very simple for one vector. Now I change my S and I write it as, let's say, 0, 1, 0 and 0, 0, 1. Right? So in this case, this is a subset of R3 and I have V1 which is equal to 0, 1, 0 and V2 which is equal to 0, 0, 1. Right? And now if I take the linear span of S, that means I will choose alpha 1 V1, alpha 2 V2 and I'll add them. Right? And then your alpha is belongs to the real and your VIs belongs to this S. Right? Let me call this as S1 so that there will be no confusion. So S1. Right? So now, if I calculate this stuff as 0, 1, 0 times the alpha 1 plus alpha 2 times 0, 0, 1, right? And similarly, with the same thing, yet that your alpha is belongs to the R and your Vi is belongs to the S1. So if I write it in this way, I'll get what? I'll get 0, alpha 1, alpha 2. So VIs belongs to the S1 and alpha 1, alpha is belongs to the VIs to ho hi gaye, right? We have already dealt with the VIs. Now we have only left with the alpha is. So alpha is belongs to the R. Now, can anybody tell me what this thing will represent?
YZ plane.
Yes. Now YZ plane. Now why YZ plane? See, if we have chosen only this vector, then we'll get only y-axis. And if we have chosen only this vector, if we choose only this vector, right? So we'll get only z-axis. But if we take the linear combination of these two and you add them together, so what we get? We actually get the YZ plane, the whole YZ plane, right? So this time, the linear span of S represents the YZ plane. So here, linear span of S1 represents what? YZ plane. See, if your S contains only 0 vector, right, from any vector space, let's say from R2, you have only this 0 vector. So what would be linear span of S then?
Origin.
Only origin. Why? Because if we'll keep on multiplying with alpha i's, it will make no difference, right? Because ultimately we are multiplying with the 0 vector and it will result in a 0 vector. Fine, fair enough. And second thing, you have noted that other than this, if you have chosen any S, right, which contains vectors which are non-zeros, right? So most of the time what happens, I should write it in this way. S is finite, right? Of course, S shouldn't have only 0 vector. Otherwise, agar S finite hai. So what do you observe? You observe that linear span of S is infinite. And why is it so?
Alpha infinite है.
अल्फा की चॉइसेस इनफाइनाइट है, हम बार बार अल्फा से मल्टीप्लाई कर रहे हैं एक वेक्टर, right? You get only one vector and you multiply it with alpha, you'll get so many vectors, right? From single vector, you are able to generate the x-axis and the y-axis, right? That's what we have shown. Is it okay? Is it fine? So always keep in mind, right? L of S has a very big size. And there is only one case of exception. That is S shouldn't contain only 0 vector. Otherwise, you take linear span of S, you will get so many vectors. So now, sometimes vector can be written as a linear combination, sometimes cannot be written as the linear combination, right? So I'll give you a very simple example into that. Okay, so see this. Show that 0, 0, 5 can be written as the linear combinations of 1, 0, 0 and 0, 0, 1. right? So how we can do it? Let's understand. So we know that the linear combination of these vectors can be written in this way, can be written in way alpha 1 1 0 0 plus alpha 2 0 0 1. So what do we want to prove? Can this 005 written, can this be written as the linear combination of these two vectors or not? That's what we want to check, right? So how are we going to check this? For the time being, we say that there will be some sensible choices of alpha 1 and alpha 2 so that this vector can be represented in this way. Okay, so let's say check whether these sensible values we can get or not. So for this, what we're going to do, we'll simply solve this equation. Okay, so that is alpha 1 0 0 plus 0 0 alpha 2. So that means 0 0 5 alpha 1. If you add these two component wise, right? 0 alpha 2. Now, if you equate these two vectors, what are you going to get? You'll get that alpha 1 is 0, alpha 2 is equal to 5. Right? That's what we get. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And if you revisit your result, that means if you put these values over there, what do you get? Now see, check it. 0 0 5, 0 times 1 0 0 plus 5 times 0 0 1. Why is it so? Because we know that this particular vector, right? This particular vector 0 0 5 lies on the z-axis. So we don't need any contribution from the x-axis. Okay, so that's why x-axis, the vector which is lying on the x-axis is get multiplied by 0. But still this vector is on z-axis, so that's why we have multiplied this vector by 5 because we have unit vector. So that's why 0 0 5 can be written in this way. So are you with me on this?
Yes, sir.
Let's take another example with this. Okay, so now take another example, and that example is what? I'm taking the vector 0 7 0. Can this be written as the linear combination of this? Let's try with the same set of vectors. So I write it as 0 7 0 plus is equal to, if it is possible, then it should be have some sensible choices of alpha 1 and alpha 2. So let's try to do this. So with the same way, we'll write it as 0 7 0 alpha 1 0 0 plus 0 0 alpha 2. Now add these two vectors, you will get alpha 1 0 alpha 2, and here 0 7 0. So now what do you get? So you get that your alpha 1 is 0, alpha 2 is also equal to 0, but there is a third condition which you will get, which cannot be possible, that is 7 is equal to 0. No matter what value of alpha 1 or alpha 2 you have chosen, these two vectors cannot be equal. Why? Because every time you'll get 7 over here and every time you'll get 0 over here, and 7 and 0 cannot be equal. So that's why 0 7 0 cannot be written as linear combination of 1 0 0 and 0 0 1. See this. This vector is on what?
Y.
Or and you see other two vectors, these are on z-axis or x-axis, right? Any combination of z-axis and x-axis cannot provide us the y-axis, right? So if you know that the linear combination of these two vectors will always produce the xz plane, right? And we have a vector. Let me draw this picture for you. right? So let's say this is X, this is Y, this is Z. So now your vector is where? Your vector is here, 0, 0, 0, 7, 0. And linear combination of XZ plane will look like this, whole XZ plane, right? तो जो इनफाइनाइट वाला पार्ट है, ये सारा इनफाइनाइट वाला पार्ट जनरेट हुआ है. And you clearly see this, that 0, 7, 0 will not fall in this thing, right?
Yes, sir.
So show that 1 minus 2, 5 can be written as the linear combination of which vectors? 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, and 2 minus 1, 1. Right? So things are again easy. I mean, what are you going to assume? In the same way, let's say it is possible. So if it is possible, we'll write it as 1 minus 2, 5 is equal to alpha 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, alpha 2, 1, 2, 3, plus alpha 3. And this vector last one is 2 minus 1 and 1. So now 1 minus 2, 5 is equal to, so add component wise, first component. So you get alpha 1 plus alpha 2 plus 2 alpha 3. This will be the first component. And second component you will get by second entries, right? So this will become what? Alpha 1 plus 2 alpha 2 minus alpha 3. And the third component, that will be by these multiplying the scalars of each third entry and then add them together. So we'll get alpha 1 plus 3 alpha 2 plus alpha 3. So now these vectors are equal, right? Yes, you're with me? Now see that one should be equal to this, okay? And then this minus 2 should be equal to the second entry. And then this one, the last one, 5, should be equal to this one. Yes, are you with me on this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so see this. So we'll write it as alpha 1 plus alpha 2 plus 2 alpha 3 should be equal to 1. Alpha 1 plus 2 alpha 2 minus alpha 3 should be equal to minus 2. Alpha 1 plus 3 alpha 2 plus alpha 3 should be equal to 5. Right? So now we're going to solve this. So how are we going to solve this? I mean, there are many ways, but you can do what? I mean, you simply use the second and the third. You will be able to remove the alpha 3 from here. Yes? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
So I'll call them as 1, 2, and 3. So first of all, you add second and third. So this gives what? So 2 alpha 2 plus 3 alpha 2, 5 alpha 2, alpha 1 and alpha 1, 2 alpha 1, minus 2 and 5, 3, and these two will get cancelled. Okay, so that's how we're gonna get the resulting equation as 5 alpha 2 and 2 alpha 1. Add them together, we'll get 3, and we call it as fourth. Now we want to get another equation where alpha 3 is not present. So we'll solve either 1 and second or 1 and third. So we'll use 1 and the second, right? So we'll multiply second equation by 2 times the second equation and add the 1. That gives us what? So 2 alpha 1 and alpha 1. So this will become 3 alpha 1, 4 alpha 2 and alpha 2. So this will become 5 alpha 2. And 2 alpha 3 minus and 2 alpha 3 plus. So this will get cancelled. And here -4 and 1. So this will become -3, right? So now I have fourth and fifth equation, so I can solve them. Okay, so solving fourth and fifth, how are we going to do it? We just subtract them because 5 alpha 2 is present, 5 alpha 2 is present. Okay, so just simply 4 minus 5 gives, check. So 4 minus 5 minus alpha 1 is equal to 6. So therefore alpha 1 is equal to -6. So if your alpha 1 is -6, let's try to find out alpha 3. So put alpha 1 -6 over here. So this will become -12 plus 5 alpha 2 is equal to 3. So 5 alpha 2 is equal to 15. So therefore alpha 2 is equal to 3. Right? So here alpha 2 is equal to 3. Now you put alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3 over here. Then you will get the value of alpha 3 as well. So alpha 1 is your -6 plus alpha 2 is 3 and plus 2 alpha 1, 2 alpha 3, sorry, is equal to 1. So these are the values which we are getting from equation 1. So from 1. So 2 alpha 3 is equal to, this will become -3 and you will take it over there. So this will become 4. So your alpha 3 is equal to 2. So that means you have got the sensible values of alpha x, right? So that's why this can be written as the linear combination of these vectors. And how we can write it as? So we'll write it as 1 minus 2 5 can be written as alpha 1 minus 6 times the first vector, that is 1 1 1 1 1 plus alpha 2, that is 3. The second vector, that was 1 2 3, and the last one is 2 minus 1 1. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
So now same can be done in case of polynomial as well. So we'll do one example on this. Show that x 3x square plus x plus 5 can be written as the linear combination right, can be written as the linear combination of x cube, x square plus 2x, x square plus 2 minus x plus 1. Okay, so we need to prove this. So again, we'll do with the same thing. We'll treat these polynomial as vectors. So we have 4 vectors over there. So we shall write it 3x square plus x plus 5 can be written as alpha 1 x cube, alpha 2 x square plus 2x, alpha 3 x square plus 2, alpha 4 minus x plus 1. So are you with me on this?
Yes, sir.
So we'll write it as 3x square plus x plus 5 is equal to. So we'll also create a polynomial on the right hand side in order to compare the coefficient. So we'll write it in a proper format, and that's what. First of all, we'll need the x cube's coefficient, that is alpha 1 x cube. Now try to collect the coefficients of x square. Okay, so that is x square के साथ क्या आएगा? Alpha 2, and here you have alpha 3. Okay, so this is alpha 3. Now try to collect the coefficients of x. So for x you have only minus alpha 4 over there. Okay, so plus x minus alpha 4. Now at last, sorry, we have one more coefficient over here as well. So that will be 2 alpha 2. And at last we have constant term. So that should be equal to 2 alpha 3 plus alpha 4, right? So 2 alpha 3 plus alpha 4. Now We are saying that these two polynomials are equal. So when these two polynomials will be equal? Only when if you compare the coefficients. Okay, so let's try to compare the coefficient. So two polynomials are equal. Here you don't have, on left hand side, you don't have any coefficient of x cube. So you get the first value of alpha 1 to be equal to 0. Now compare the coefficient of x square. So this is there and this is, and 3 is there. Okay, so from both sides you get alpha 2 plus alpha 3 is equal to 3. And similarly, for x you have minus alpha 4 plus alpha 2, and here you have only 1. So equate these two coefficient as well. Minus alpha 4 plus 2 alpha 2 is equal to 1. And at last, the constant term, that is 2 alpha 3 plus alpha 4, should be equal to 5. So now we have 4 equations and we want to solve them. And at a first step, what we can do, we have already alpha 1 to be 0, and we can remove alpha 2 from first and the second, so that the remaining equation will be in alpha 3 and alpha 4, and we have already one more equation in alpha 3 and alpha 4, and then we can solve these equations. So first of all, I'll solve first and second in order to get the equation in alpha 3 and alpha 4. For this, I'll multiply first equation by 2 and then subtract. So multiply first equation by 2 and then we shall subtract second from this one. So that means we have 2 alpha 2 plus 2 alpha 3 is equal to 6, and here we have 2 alpha 2 minus alpha 4 is equal to 1. This is our second equation. So now if we subtract, what we're gonna get? So we'll get 2 alpha 3 plus alpha 4 is equal to 5. But this is the same equation as we have already in 3. So what does that mean? That means that we are not able to get the extra information. Okay, so this means, so you have alpha 1 is equal to 0, and you have alpha 2 from first equation, you have alpha 2 is equal to 3 minus alpha 3. From third, you get alpha 4 is equal to 5 minus 2 alpha 3. So this means that actually this set of equations has infinitely many solutions, right? So you can write it as your alpha 1 is equal to 0, your alpha 2 is equal to 3 minus alpha 3, and your alpha 4 is 5 minus 2 alpha 3, and your alpha 3 is alpha 3. Basically it can take any real value. So if you substitute the values of alpha 3, you will get the corresponding values for alpha 2 and alpha 4. So that means we have infinitely many solutions for this system of equations. So we conclude that our polynomial can be written as the linear combination of given polynomials. That means your 3x square plus x plus 5 belongs to the linear span of S, and where your S is this whole set. This is your S. So let me call this as S. Now I'll give you similar exercises, out of which few are different and they are completely optional.